When last we gathered, the ancient whispers of the Iroko guided us, revealing the strength of Nkemjika, the one whose path is greater. We walked with Iyale, the silent woman, as she found her voice in her daughter's heartbeat. And later, in the solemn truth of the buried mother. In Umuola, we witnessed the reawakening of a long silent spirit, Adaeze, whose name was given new life as Umuola, proving that forgotten sorrow, once acknowledged, can blossom into profound healing. The rain washed away the shame, and the mortar, no longer a vessel of sacrifice, became a shrine of forgiveness. But the spiritual tapestry of our world is vast and intricate, constantly weaving new threads of destiny. Though the echoes of the past find peace, the future ever beckons, carrying new challenges and unveiling deeper truths. Nkemjika, the child born without a name, now carries the weight of many. Her spirit, a confluence of the seen and the unseen. The gentle girl who communes with the earth now senses a new, potent energy stirring within her. A vibrant pulse that hums with the warmth of an unseen flame. This tale, it is not merely about a whisper, nor a voice from the earth. It is about a spark, a burning ember deep within a young soul, waiting to ignite. Another story unfolds, born from fire, spirits, and the burgeoning power within a girl, who will soon learn to carry the vessel, essence of a mystical flame. Welcome to Whispers of the Ancestors, Episode 3, The Girl Who Carried Fire. The new silence of Umuola. In the wake of Adaeze's reawakening, a different kind of silence settled upon Umuola. It was not the oppressive hush of fear, but a profound, almost sacred quiet. A quiet born of understanding and reconciliation. The air, once heavy with unspoken secrets, now felt lighter, cleansed by the rains and the tears of collective absolution. Children's laughter, once dull, rang out with unburdened joy, echoing up the revitalized shrine. The village moved with a renewed sense of purpose, their steps lighter, their hearts open. Yet, amidst this newfound peace, a subtle change began to manifest in Nkemjika. She walked with a noticeable lightness, almost a shimmer, as if a gentle warmth emanated from her very being. The villagers, though accustomed to her unique connection to the unseen, noticed the shift. A growing luminosity in her presence, an intensity in her gaze that spoke of a deeper, burgeoning power. Her laughter, though still innocent, carried a new, resonant quality, as if infused with the hidden energy, the warmth within. It began subtly, a faint warmth in the hollow of Nkemjika's chest, like a tender ember nestled deep within her spirit. At first, she thought it was the lingering heat of the sun, or perhaps the feverish aftermath of a particular vivid dream. But the sensation persisted, growing stronger with each passing day, blossoming into a constant, gentle hum that vibrated through her small body. It was a warmth that brought comfort, banishing the chill of dawn and the dampness of the evening air. Yet, it was also a warmth that demanded attention, a subtle burning that hinted at something far greater than simple bodily heat. When she closed her eyes, she saw faint, dancing motes of light behind her eyelids, like distant embers swirling in a forgotten heart. This inner glow was not painful, but insistent, a quiet command from within, urging her to acknowledge its presence. She felt as though her very essence was awakening, drawing a profound energy from the core of the earth and the vastness of the sky. Iyale's observation. Iyale, now attuned to the subtle spiritual current that flowed through her daughter, felt the change in Nkemjika as keenly as if it were happening within herself. She watched her daughter with a quiet intensity, her heart a mixture of pride and a growing apprehension. She noticed how Nkemjika's breath seemed to quicken when she stood near the Iroko tree, as if drawing unseen energy from its ancient roots. She saw the way the air around Nkemjika seemed to shimmer on occasion, like it rising from a hot surface. Iyale remembered the legend whispered by her own grandmother, tales of chosen children born with marks of fire, destined to wield power beyond mortal comprehension. A fear, cold and sharp, coiled in her stomach. Was this new warmth a blessing? A continuation of Nkemjika's unique gift? Or was it a burden? A dangerous flame that could consume a precious child? The night of the Fireflies. One moonless night, the warmth within Nkemjika intensified, blooming into a vibrant, undeniable glow. She slipped from her bed, drawn by an irresistible impulse, and wandered out into the quiet compound. The air was thick with the scent of a damp earth and night blossoms. Suddenly, the darkness around her began to prickle with tiny points of light. Not stars, but a myriad of fireflies, shimmering and blinking, drawn to her as if she was a beacon. They swam around her, their tiny pulsating lights mirroring the growing intensity of the warmth in her chest. They danced a silent, intricate ballet, their fleeting glows spelling out patterns in the air that Nkemjika instinctively understood, though she couldn't explain how. The fireflies seemed to respond to her very thoughts, swirling faster when her heart beat quicker, dimming slightly when she felt a moment of calm. It was a silent communion, a luminous dialogue between a girl and the glowing spirits of the night. a testament to our burgeoning connection to the primal energies of the world. The Elder's Dream. Simultaneously, a profound and disturbing dream visited Mama Uzoma, the oldest and wisest elder of Umuola, whose spirit was intimately connected to the ancestral realm. In her dream, she saw a girl, bathed in brilliant light, standing amidst a raging fire, yet unarmed. From the flames, a voice, ancient and resonant, spoke directly to her heart. The child of the new dawn carries the old flame. She must be taught, or the fire will consume all. Mama Uzoma awoke with the gasp, her heart pounding like a drum. The dream was vivid, startlingly clear, echoing the words of forgotten prophecies. She knew instinctively that the dream spoke of Nkemjika, the child who has found a name, the child who has awoken a spirit. The wisdom of the ancestors, often delivered in riddles and visions, was now pressing upon her, demanding immediate action. The balance of the village, perhaps even the land, depended on understanding this new fiery gift. The conversion at dawn. As the first hint of dawn painted the sky in soft grey and pinks, Mama Uzoma sought out Iyale, her aged face ached with the weight of her dream. Under the shelter of a dew-kissed mango tree, Mama Uzoma recounted her vision, her voice low and solemn. Iyale listened, her heart a note of apprehension, for she had already felt a subtle shift within her daughter. As the elder spoke of the old flame and the consuming fire, Iyale's own observation of Nkemjika's internal warmth, the shimmer around her, and the fireflies' dance coalesced into a terrifying realization. Her daughter carried a mystical fire, a power that could both be a blessing and a curse. Fear, cold and sharp, gripped her. This was not merely about Nkemjika's unique spiritual sensitivity. This was about an elemental force, an ancestral power awakening within a child. The seeking of the solitary river. The village elders convened in hushed tones, deliberating on Mama Uzoma's prophecy. After much discussion and consulting ancient proverbs, they decided that Nkemjika's burgeoning power was too profound, too ancient, to be guided by their limited understanding. Only one individual possessed the knowledge and the spiritual fortitude to guide such a child, and that was Old Man Chike, the solitary river. He was a reclusive figure living deep within the whispering forest, a hermit known for his profound connection to the elemental spirit and his mastery of forgotten lore. Legend said he could weave threads of fire into cloth, and his mind held the maps of ancient spiritual pathways. His wisdom was rumored to be vast, but his nature was elusive, and his temperament as unpredictable as a forest fire. They knew the journey to him would be perilous, fraught with unseen challenges, for his dwelling was hidden, protected by the very spirit he communed with. The journey begins. A small determined group set out at dawn, their faces grimed yet resolute. Iyale, her heart heavy with maternal concern, walked beside Mama Uzoma, who carried a pouch of secret herbs and unwavering gaze. Nkemjika, unaware of the full import of their journey, but sensing the solemnity of the occasion, held her mother's hand tightly, her small face alight with a mixture of curiosity and youthful excitement. The forest swallowed them whole, its ancient canopy filtering the sunlight into dapple patterns on the forest floor. The air grew thick with the scent of damp earth and unseen life. The path was arduous, overgrown with tangled vines and hidden roots, and the sound of the forest pressed in on them. The rustling of unseen creatures, the distant calls of birds, the careless whispers of the wind through the leaves. Each step was a prayer, each breath a silent plea for guidance and protection. The thirst of the ancestral stream. Deep within the forest, they encounter a winding stream, its waters clear and cold. But this was not ordinary stream. It was the ancestral stream, a spiritual barrier that tested the purity of those who sought to cross. As Mama Uzoma dipped her hand into the water, the surface rippled violently, and ghostly faces briefly shimmered beneath the current, their eyes ancient and piercing. A low hum, like a chorus of unseen voices, emanated from the water, judging their intentions. Iyale felt a sudden chill, a sense of being weighed and measured. It was then that Nkemjika, without hesitation, stepped forward. As her small bare feet touched the water, a soft golden light radiated from her, warming the stream's surface. The spectral faces in the water softened, their gazes becoming benevolent. The hum transformed into a gentle, welcoming melody, and the water parted, creating a path for them to cross. Nkemjika's inner fire, unbidden and pure, had proven their worthiness, calming the ancient spirits of the stream. Old Man Chike's grove. After transversing treacherous terrain and navigating by subtle spiritual signs, they finally arrived at the Old Man Chike's grove. It was a place of ethereal beauty and profound stillness, tucked away in a sun-dappled clearing. Ancient trees with narrow branches form a natural sanctuary, their leaves shimmering with an outwardly glow. Smoke, thin and fragrant with exotic herbs, coiled upward from a small, expertly crafted fire pit. Old Man Chike sat cross-legged beside it, his back to them, his frame slender and ancient, his skin like warm leather. He seemed to be weaving something in the air with his bare hands, threads of light forming and dissolving around his nimble fingers. His presence radiated an immense ancient energy, a deep tranquility that belied the legend of his unpredictable nature. He was clearly expecting them. His wisdom has foreseen their arrival. The first encounter. Without turning, Old Man Chike's voice, surprisingly youthful yet resonant with age, filled the air. "The child carries fire," he stated, his word a confirmation rather than a question. "The flame grows, ready to consume or to enlighten." He turned slowly, his eyes the color of polished obsidian, fixing on Nkemjika. They were eyes that seemed to peer not just into her soul, but into the very essence of the universe. Nkemjika, usually so fearless, felt a profound awe, a primal recognition of a spirit as ancient as the Iroko itself. He extended a hand not to greet, but to invite. Nkemjika, sensing no threat, walked towards him without hesitation, drawn by an invisible thread. As she reached him, the warmth within her intensified, responding to his presence as if two ancient fires recognized each other across the chasm of time. He did not touch her, but simply gestured to the ground beside him, inviting her to sit, to begin the silent listen. The whispers of the flames. Old Man Chike began Nkemjika's instruction not with words, but with the language of the elements. He taught her to sit in silent communion with the small fire, to listen to the whisper of its flames. He showed her how the fire danced, how it consumed, how it transformed. He spoke of its duality, its power to destroy, but also its power to purify, to forge, to bring light. As Nkemjika focused, the flame seemed to respond to her thought, flickering higher when she concentrated, dimming when her mind wandered. She began to see faces within the fire, the fleeting visages of ancient spirits. Their expressions were wise and knowing. They spoke to her not with sound, but with flashes of insight, bursts of profound understanding that filled her mind with knowledge she had never learned. This was a language of intuition, a communion beyond words, initiated by the very essence of the mystical fire within her. Iyale's fear and trust. While Nkemjika absorbed the lessons of the flames, Iyale watched from a distance, her heart a tumultuous mix of emotions. The sight of her precious child, so young, so open, communing with such a primal force, filled her with a mother's deepest fear. What if the fire consumed her? What if the power was too great a burden? Yet, as she observed Nkemjika's serene face, the radiant glow that surrounds her, and the gentle guidance of Old Man Chike, a profound sense of trust began to replace her fear. She recognized that this was not a path she could control, but one that Nkemjika was destined to walk. Her love for her daughter was a fire itself, fierce and protective, but now it was tempered by the understanding that Nkemjika's journey was her own, a sacred calling that Iyale could only witness and support with unwavering faith. The Ancestral Orb. After many days of silent teaching, Old Man Chike brought forth an ancient shimmering ancestral orb, a sphere of pure condensed light that pulsed with an inner luminance. He explained that this orb contained the essence of the primal fire, the pure energy of creation and destruction, a force that had been guarded by its lineage for generations. He instructed Nkemjika to extend our hands towards it, not to touch, but to feel its resonance. As Nkemjika reached out, the one within her surged, meeting the energy of the orb. The orb vibrated, growing brighter, and strands of shimmering light, like ethereal ribbons, extended from it, wrapping around Nkemjika's outstretched fingers. It was a transfer of energy, an ancient recognition between the inherent fire within Nkemjika and the concentrated power of the orb, signifying a profound lineage and destiny. The fire-weaving lesson. Under Old Man Chike's guidance, Nkemjika began to learn the art of fire weaving. It was not about creating literal flames, but about manipulating the primal energy, the very essence of fire that flowed through her. She learned to draw threads of warmth from the air, to gather stray embers of light, and to shape them with her will. At first, her attempts were tentative, the light flickering weakly in her small hands. But with each passing day, her control grew, her focus sharpened. She learned to mend torn leaves by passing her glowing fingers over them, leaving behind a subtle healed shimmer. She discovered how to warm cold water by simply focusing her inner heat, turning it into a soothing bath. This was not magic in the common understanding, but an intuitive connection to the elemental forces, an expansion of her very being, allowing her to influence the world around her with the power of the primal flame, the fire in her gaze. As Nkemjika's mastery grew, a subtle yet profound transformation occurred in her very being. Her eyes, once merely perceptive, now seemed to hold a deep, unwavering light, as if small control flames danced within their depths. When she focused intensely, the air around her seemed to vibrate with a soft, radiating heat, almost imperceptible to others, but clear to Mama Uzoma and Iyale. These were the outward manifestation of her inner fire, a testament to her burgeoning control over the elemental force within her. She was no longer just a girl with a connection to the spirit. She was becoming a conduit for the very essence of life and energy, a living embodiment of the sacred flame. The warning of the forest spirit. One evening, as Nkemjika practiced her fire weaving, a powerful forest spirit, ancient and formless, manifested before them in a swirl of shimmering leaves and mist. Its voice, a rustling whisper that seemed to come from all directions at once, resonated with a solemn warning. The fire bearer attracts shadows. Power seeks balance. The light you carry will draw darkness. The spirit spoke of unseen entities, drawn to immense power like moths to a flame. Entities that sought to extinguish or corrupt God's gift. It cautioned Nkemjika that her abilities, while wondrous, will also make her a target, a beacon in the spiritual darkness. The path of the fire bearer was not without peril. This warning, delivered with the weight of ancient wisdom, cast a somber shadow over Nkemjika's joy, a stark reminder that extraordinary gifts often come with extraordinary responsibilities and dangers.